but Tord and Andrew. Looks like Andrew is going to be going first. Going to get a
Brooklet
Rimmerade in
Hill.
the start and a Brooklet Hill. Definitely what he wants to see.
I have a feeling we'll be seeing a Buzzwole here.
Yep. Most likely going to grab a Buzzwole. If he already has one in his hand, he could get a Rockruff or something like that, but I would assume Buzzwole is going to be what he wants to get in play here.
Looks like he has fighting energy. There seems to be a Guzma in there.
Yep, those energy attachments, of course, so key in this Buzzwole Lycanroc deck. And, you know, as long as he's getting those energy attachments every turn, he should be good to go. Looks like he has a Sycamore as well, so he'll be able to have that option available to him. Max Elixir going to potentially get an additional energy attachment. Doesn't hit there. Ooh, not even on the last card either.
So sad.
Unfortunately, it does not hit that Elixir. But, you know, that is the risk you run.
And he does have that basic in hand. He can attach it there if he wishes.
Yep, still gets the attachment, worst case scenario. So
see a choice band go down as well. And it looks like he will be playing that Sycamore, discarding a Guzma and a Cynthia.
Yep, could have chosen to play the Cynthia to maybe preserve those other two cards, but this deck is just so fast and aggressive, I think he wants to just try to get a little more set up here.
Right.
We do see an Energy Switch in his hand, actually. Kind of a more interesting tech. We don't see a lot of people playing Energy Switch these days, but it can be very useful to help spread your energy attachments around.
Definitely. Going on to Tord's turn here.
Yep, he does have that Wimpod in the active spot with that Wimp Out ability, giving it free retreat here on this first turn. He'll be able to move it very quickly if he needs to into something else.
Looks like he is going to go for the Ultra Ball here, discarding it looks to be a Float Stone as well as a Field Blower potential healer.
Yeah, I think he will want to get a Tapu Lele and go for that Bridget. Of course, just such a powerful card combination. Bridget just so good in these evolution decks.
Ends up going for the Guzma and the Field Blower here.
I believe it was the Float Stone, maybe? I think it was the Float Stone.
They're all green to me.
Yep, you know they are green.
I'm gonna go with my gut here, though.
Okay, all right, that's fine. That's fine.
But we do see him going for the Tapu Lele.
Yep. And I'm sure this is gonna grab a Bridget.
Of course, checking through all his cards to see what's prized, get his counts right.
And you know, with so many basic Pokemon for his evolutions, it'll be so interesting to see what he grabs here. Like, he could grab Trubishes, he could grab other Wimpods, he could grab Zoruas. I'm not sure what he's going to get here. It'll be interesting to see what Tord is going to do.
He could go for a one of each.
Yeah, he could. He could, you know, just leave himself with all kinds of different options.
Let's see. I do see him pull out a Zorua to the front, it looked like, as well as one Trubbish.
And we'll see what he wants to do.
Two Zorua.
There's two and a Trubbish. So wanting to spread it out. I wonder how many people, whenever Tord has had Wimpod, Trubbish, and Zorua in play today, have just looked at him so confused. Like, what is this? What is this deck that you're playing? But, you know, Tord is one of the best in the game, and he's obviously found a way to make it work at 6-2 here in Toronto.
Honestly, if you would not have spoiled this for me, that would have been my reaction is, what is this?
But we do see that Trubbish hit the bench. It'll be interesting to see if Tord does choose to use that Wimp Out ability this turn. I'm not sure what he would run away to. He doesn't really want to necessarily lose anything that's on his bench. Maybe he could go to the Lele. We'll just have to see. I'm not sure. Looks like we're just going to see what else Tord has on his turn. Single Puzzle of Time. Oh, no. Tord must not have anything else to work with past his opening hand. Going to take a look at his hand again. Anytime you see a player just play one puzzle and then really think about the puzzles,
it's rough.
It usually tells me that there's not a good supporter option there right away.
Or any supporter option.
Yeah, if he saw a Sycamore or Cynthia, he would have moved it to the top immediately, right? Because he's like, okay, that's what I want to get. I know I need to find that next turn. I see, it looks like a Trubbish at least is one of them. We'll see if he retreats or not here.
I feel like he might want to just to preserve that Wimpod. And I would honestly go for Zorua at this point, I think.
I think that would be very risky because, like, the Float Stone option for Rimmerade, and this is actually incredibly smart from Tord here. He played the single puzzle, saw that none of the top three cards were going to help him out, so he uses Brooklet Hill to randomize his deck again, shuffling it immediately, knowing, hey, now I have a chance to have a top card that's going to get me something useful.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah, have a chance to get it for sure. It looks like he is going to Wimp out into that Tapu Lele. You know, he doesn't want to sacrifice one of these Zoruas if
That's fair,
Andrew
yeah.
is able to find a floatstone. He'd easily be able to get a knockout, and looks like we're just going to see a Rainbow Energy coming onto Wimpod and a pass over to Andrew. We'll see what he can do here on his second turn. Is he able to take some of these Zaruas out of play, potentially?
I do see a lovely gold Ultra Ball in hand.
Yeah, looks like Andrew is really rocking out with some of these nice full arts, nice secret rare cards.
It is. And the camera's not freaking out for once, so...
And looks like he's just going to go Lele for a Guzma and value potentially taking out these Zaruas, trying to get rid of them. Looks like Ultra Ball's going to discard double in there.
Wow.
2 ends hitting the discard pile. Going to just get that Octillery, try to draw a couple of cards here with Abyssal Hands.
Definitely. He needs to get a bit more set up before he can start knocking over towards Pokemon.
Yeah, and we've just seen how good the Abyssal Hand has been for these Buzzwole Lycanroc decks. Just allows them to get so many more cards throughout the course of the game. Tord here debating attaching another Choice Band. It looks like he's just going to go ahead and Guzma the Zorua. I think he had the Energy Switch in his hand, so something kind of odd he could have done. He could have attached the Fighting Energy to one of his other Pokemon and then played Energy Switch to Abyssal Hand for one additional card. But no, it looks like, oh, actually not. Maybe he didn't have enough cards to Abyssal Hand, but did not Abyssal Hand there that turn. We're going to see him put that 30 damage on that Wimpod, and because of Rainbow Energy, it's one Jet Punch away from being KO'd.
Yep.
Lele comes to the active, and we see another single puzzle from Tord. Not what he wants to be seeing, and there is no Brooklet Hill in play to bail him out of a bad puzzle this time.
Oh, no. Things are not looking good.
Not what you want to see if you're Tord Reklev at
And the fact
this
that
point.
he's just kind of like looking at them, not really doing much. I don't think he has anything that can save him at this point.
No, it doesn't look like it. He would have put a good supporter to the top immediately. Galissima comes to the active. He has no cards in his hands.
Oh my goodness.
If Andrew has just one single energy card, he can take a knockout here with an Absorption GX. If he finds
Putting
a
the Brooklet Hill down now.
Yep, and Tord, I'm sure will probably use that. He knows the next 2 cards after his top deck, but we'll see what Andrew wants to get here with the Brooklet Hill. Looking to eye up a Rockruff, using that nice foil promo Rockruff. And, if he can thin his hand down a little bit, he can maybe go for that Abyssal Hand and draw some cards.
Bet Tord wishes he could Abyssal Hand right about now.
Tord's maybe like, hey, do you mind if I borrow your...
you?
Can I grab that Octillery here for a minute?
I'll give it right back, I promise. You see Andrew bench that Pseudo-Wudo.
Yep.
Such a threat with that Watch and Learn, or Watch and Play, was it?
Watch and Learn.
Watch
Yes,
and
you
Learn.
had it
I
right
was
the first
right
time.
the first
Yep.
time, dang.
And Andrew here drawing at 2 Max Elixirs plus a Strong Energy and another Basic Fighting. He will be able to get basically whatever he wants set up. We also see that Zygarde EX in his hand, an interesting option. Chooses to bench the Regirock, though. It's always weird benching these grass-weak Pokemon against Galissapod decks, but you do need those, you need those support Pokemon at some point a lot of the
Definitely.
time.
The energy attachment at that Rockruff seems like a very safe play right about now. Just getting extra things ready for if and when Tord gets all set up.
Yep, threatening that Dangerous Rogue GX does hit that second Max Elixir. If he does hit this, he will likely be able to spread his energy out, and that is exactly what he does. Puts one on the Pseudo-Wudo. Has so many options now available to him.
It's fantastic. He is set up pretty well right about now.
And he has not even attached an energy this turn. He's can attach to the active and then go for that Knuckle Impact now, since he got the Choice Band, and be able to knock out this Tapu Lele. Looks like he might attach a Strong Energy to the active. And we're going to just see that Knuckle Impact come out here, doing enough damage to knock out that Tapu Lele. Ooh, actually opting for Absorption here, so he can stream that attack. Looks like Tord got a Guzma, going to use that Brooklet Hill, randomize his deck, fails it immediately, and he will be able to actually use First Impression and take a prize here.
Yeah.
So, Tord doesn't really have much of a good setup, but, he's going to get 1 card off the prize. He'll draw 1 next turn, so maybe there's something here that can help bail him out.
Right. You take what you can get in this game at times.
Whoa. Yeah, make sure Andrew discards that and promotes a new Pokemon before drawing for his turn. Yeah, he has to... Yeah, there we go. Just getting that all figured out.
Judge got it.
Yep, we are good to go. Andrew can just Knuckle Impact, knock out this Galissapod here at this point, and go down to just 1 prize left. And I'm not sure how many items he's played, though. If Tord can get off an N plus a Trashalanche on this turn, if he top decks extremely well, he can maybe make something happen here.
If I recall correctly, we have about 4 or 5 maybe in there. I know there's a Max Elixir,
Yep.
some Ultra Balls. Nothing too exciting.
Yeah, so we'll see. It looks like Andrew's going to get that Buzzwole into play. Going to attach, just prepping his next attacking option. Has a float stone he could attach, you know, maybe wanting to keep that in play just in case of a field blower, but you don't really want to draw that off of an into 1 with no artillery in play. And Tord has a Cynthia. He got a Cynthia off of his prize cards. I believe that was a Cynthia. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like he would have played it very quickly, but...
Tord is a very methodical player at times, though. He does think through.
I think...
But if I was Tord, I would be playing it right away.
I kind of think he had a Cynthia in his hand from the prizes and has a Zoroark GX in his hand from the top deck. What he might be thinking is trying to trade into an in. It's pretty unlikely he wins this game at this point anyway. But an out for him to win is definitely going to be to in, and that is exactly what he's going to do. He's going to trade. Does he find an in? Doesn't look like it. I see a Parallel City. I did not see the other card.
Ooh,
and yeah, Tord's going to concede right away.
Such a shame.
He could have played that Cynthia, but, you know, at that point, it's pretty likely Andrew's going to be able to win with that, you know, 6 or 7 card hand.
He had to play to his out. He had to risk it for the biscuit, honestly.
He had to play to his out. And, you know, it didn't work out this time, but, you know, this is just kind of what separates the good players from, like, the great players from the good players, right?
Exactly.
Tord saw that out, even though it was such a minimal percentage chance that it could happen, that he would find the in off of that trade. He went for it, and once he didn't get it, he knew, okay, this game is over.
Yeah. Such a shame, though. So, if you were Tord right now, what would you be wanting to do for game 2?
I would want to just draw better cards. Tord did not draw very well that game, and, you know, that's really what it came down to, I think, at that point. Andrew set up very well. He had that one turn with a double elixir play, extremely good, and, you know, you just see the consistency and strength of Buzzwole Lycanroc featured right here.
Right.
And if you're Andrew, you're definitely feeling great right now. You just took down one of the greatest players in the game currently, and you're on the winning end in Toronto. Yeah. Definitely a good feeling if you're Andrew. Just
don't get too cocky.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But just one more of these next 2 games will get Andrew into the second day of this tournament. Tord making sure he's shuffling his deck very well because he wants to make sure his deck is nice and randomized since things did not work out very well for him last game.
Yes.
We'll see the opening hand of 7. Andrew's going to start with a Buzzwole, most likely in that opening hand, it looks like.
Yep.
And we'll see
and
what
there's
Tord
a Max
has.
Elixir.
Ooh. So Max Elixir, definitely good to see if he can get another benched Pokemon. Tord finds a basic as well. Did not see what it was.
But
and let's see if he can get that Bridget on the first turn. Wimpod once again on the start. Choice Band as the top deck. Do we see an Ultra Ball?
We do see a Tapu Lele
just the Tapu
going
Lele.
for the Wonder Tag here. I assume we're going to be seeing a Bridget fall from this deck fairly soon.
Yep. If you're toward Reklev, you just never miss the turn 1 Bridget. He always has it, always has a way to get it, and gets those 3 basics in play to get his evolution Pokemon ready to go.
Right. Opting for it looks to be the same 3 as before, 2 Zorua as well as 1 Trubbish.
And if Tord plays a single Puzzle of Time here, I'm going to just feel so bad for him at this point.
Please don't even mention that. That hurts me even.
But we'll see. He's looking at his hand. He might be going back into his deck. He hasn't shuffled yet. Maybe he has an Ultra Ball or something like that. Maybe just kind of checking what is prized. You see this from most of the great players in the game. They really take time to figure out what they're going to have access to throughout the game and what they're going to be taking out of their prizes during the game as well.
Definitely helps you manage your late game resources even better.
And especially with Tord's deck playing so many, odd counts of cards with his evolution lines, he wants to make sure he knows which of his evolutions he has access to.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we see Tord shuffling up here.
Yep. And he can wimp out here on this first turn. We'll see if he does want to wimp out into anything. If anything, I think it would be the Tapu Lele GX, but we'll see what he decides for.
Yep.
Looks like it is what that is what it is going to be. And we'll just pass it over to Andrew.
Not even the puzzle.
No, thank goodness though. No Puzzle of Time from Tord. That is certainly a good sign. And we're going to see an Ultra Ball from Andrew. Looks like he got rid of a Lycanroc, and I believe that was a full art in. I saw it under the shadow of his
Yes,
hand.
I can see the cap right there.
You can see his cap. Yes, you can. Look at that. So that is
surprise,
indeed.
surprise of Buzzwole.
Buzzwole comes down. He does, as you mentioned, have that elixir in hand.
Yes.
And if he can get that energy, he did miss his first elixir last game, so hopefully looking for a little bit of redemption here, trying to hit the first elixir this game.
If at first you don't succeed, try and try again.
Absolutely.
There's a reason why you play 4. He does get the strong, sadly cannot attach that, and it looks like he whiffed.
Does not hit the energy, unfortunately. He does have a Professor Sycamore in his hand, so he can still, draw some more cards this turn and maybe try to find other elixirs, other energy attachments.
Right.
And does have to get rid of that energy switch, unfortunately.
Does end up getting the energy at least.
Look at all those basic energy now.
3, I think he drew.
Oh my goodness.
Yep, 3 basic energies.
Didn't get him when he needed them, but, he does still get his attachment for turn, which is definitely what he wants to do.
Does look like he also got the Oricorio.
Interesting tech option that we saw from Alex Szymanski earlier on in the day. We're just going to see a Jet Punch here doing 60 damage to the Tapu Lele and then putting 30 damage on that Wimpod.
Going into Torrid's side. Let's see.
Yeah, he's going to want to get some Zoroark GXs in play, start using trade. Looks like he does. So this game is already infinitely better than the last one. Torrid is going to have some sort of draw power, and we'll definitely try to have a good game here.
Right, going for
trade. Getting rid of that Garbotoxin Garbodor. Gets another Bridget. That could be another good trade target if he finds another Zoroark GX. Gonna check the discard, see what has been played. I do see another Ultra Ball in his hand.
Ultra Balling away a Bridget and an Ultra Ball.
And I would think this is probably getting another Zoroark GX.
Oh, it looks like he might be going for
Trashalanche. Ooh, if Andrew has 5 items in his discard pile, or if there is 3, and if Torrid can find a Field Blower, plus a Choice Band, and a Rainbow Energy, and a Float Stone, lots of cards. But he could get the knockout here on this Buzzwole GX with a Trashalanche here on the second turn of the game.
Over under if that actually happens, though.
Well, there's one piece right there. Field Blower comes out, puts him up to 4 item cards. There's the Float Stone. I'm going to go pretty high chances. He just has it right there. Goes down to 0 cards, but takes 2 prizes and leaves Andrew with just 1 Buzzwole GX in play with no energy cards.
My comment aged well there, didn't it?
Goodness.
We
Look
do
at
see
that.
that Oricorio come down on the field as a last-ditch effort to make sure he doesn't lose next turn.
Yep, and Andrew, well, I mean, this Oricorio can do a decent chunk of damage, actually.
Yeah, it does, but
if there's a Stadium card in play, though, there needs to be a Stadium card in play for that Revelation Dance to do that 30 damage, 60 after resistance, after weakness, and, Oricorio actually will not go down immediately because it has 90 HP, and there's the 4 trainers in the discard pile, so not enough to get the knockout.
Right. Searching through the discard there, seeing what we have. Doesn't seem to be too many items in there.
Yeah, I believe it is exactly 4 because that's what Torrid needed to get that knockout last turn. Yeah, 4 items right there. And the choice bands. Just making sure we've got some good math. Yep. Was enough to get that knockout last turn. Just want to make sure we got everything squared away correctly.
Trashalanche is always such a tricky attack sometimes.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Andrew, I do not see a Stadium card, which means that Revelation Dance will not be able to do that 60 damage to the Garbodor. He could use Supernatural Dance, maybe. But I don't know that Torrid has any Pokemon in his discard pile, and that is a big miss on Max Elixir for Andrew.
Such a shame. But yeah, I don't recall Torrid discarding any Pokemon right now.
No, not at this point in the game, I do not think so. Might just see a pass here if on Andrew's side, unfortunately. He has an Ultra Ball in his hand. He could get something else, maybe. Maybe he wants to. He has that Octillery in his hand. Maybe he wants to find a Remoraid. But no, gonna just Supernatural Dance. Oh, I think there was one.
There's one.
Yeah, that Trashalanche Garbotoxin Garbodor he discarded. He's going to put the 1 damage counter there on the Wimpod. Trying to figure something out here. Maybe Andrew announced the other attack, potentially? Not sure what is happening. If that is the case, once you announce an attack, you've entered the attack phase, and if you have the energy required to use that attack, you do use the attack, so that would
Yep.
mean that Andrew wouldn't be able to get any damage off this turn if he accidentally said Revelation Dance as opposed to Supernatural
That
Dance.
is correct.
The names are just so similar.
They are. Why did they do this to
I
us?
know. And I think that is the discussion that we're having there on the stream right now, figuring out what is going to happen. And yeah, Revelation Dance was declared on Andrew's side, and we're going to see Tord draw a card to get his turn started. Of course, Revelation Dance, if anyone doesn't know, it does do 30 damage if there is a Stadium card in play. Since there is no Stadium card, that attack does 0 damage, and that's it for Andrew.
Such an unfortunate.
Yep, just maybe an accidental announcement of attack, and we're going to see the Cynthia on Tord's side. Parallel City can remove his Lele's from play, 60 damage on the one, definitely wants to get rid of that.
Yep.
See a Choice Band coming into play, and a Cynthia going to shuffle and draw 6 new cards. And Andrew did actually play one more item last turn. He played that Max Elixir. So now there's 5 items in the discard pile, and Garbodor will be able to knock out the Oricorio in Andrew's active spot.
Ooh.
So Tord is definitely having a much better game this one than he did game 1, and going to be feeling pretty good moving forward here.
Right.
Still has access to trade, has not done it yet. Going to use the first one here with Tapu Lele's Wonder Tag, or excuse me, discarding the Tapu Lele.
Draws into that next Zoroark, going into the trade with that or the Bridget there.
Yep, and finds a Evo Soda, getting him an Golisopod GX in play. If he has a Grass Energy and a way to retreat, he could attack, but with the Choice Band on that active, that's probably not going to happen. Just going to put that Rainbow there and get ready for maybe the next turn of First Impression,
Right.
or even Crossing Cut GX or Armor Press.
Andrew decides to promote the Buzzwole over that Zygrade.
Yep.
And
Has the Floatstone on that Buzzwole, so he'll be able to have a little bit of mobility, but if he drew into Elixirs, he'd probably want to put the energies on the Buzzwole.
Right.
No, actually attaching to the Zygarde EX, which is very risky, especially considering Tord has that Golisopod GX on the bench with an energy already on it.
Right. Currently looks like he's going to be playing that Tapu Lele. Debating it, he did have that Cynthia in hand, which is always an option, but I think he might be going for the Guzma here.
Yeah, looks like it. We'll see what he wants to bring up with this Guzma. With a Choice Band attached, he would hit for a decent chunk of damage onto one of Tord's Zoroark GXs, doing 180 damage there. And let's see if he does have a Choice Band or not. Looks like he will just go ahead and Guzma, try to get some more damage in play. I know, it looks like it might just be a regular Lance Pulse for 120 damage after that strong energy boost. On the Tord's turn, he does have a Grass Energy there in his hand. If he can find a Floatstone or an Acerola, there's the Acerola right away. Not even needing to trade with that active Zoroark at that point. Tord is wanting to play quickly, making sure after losing game 1, they have plenty of time for game 3 if he wins this one, and it certainly looks like he's going to be able to win this one. And yes, Andrew does just concede right away.
And we're on to game 3.
On to game 3. In round number 9, we've got Tord Reklev on his winning end, Andrew as well. Going to be trying to get the W here so they can get into day 2 of this tournament.
That's right. Day 2, the coveted placement.
Absolutely. And day 2, for anyone who may not know, awards 60 championship points towards your World's Invitation. Tord, of course, already has his World's Invitation a few times over at this point.
I was going to say, he probably has about 3 or 4 at
yes,
this
multiple
point.
World's Invites. Andrew, I'm not sure where he sits CP-wise, but, people are definitely in positions at this tournament where they're wanting to get that day 2 CP and $250.
I was going to say, not just CP. There is cash on the line for everyone in day 2.
Yep, these players are playing for a shot at $5,000 first place of this tournament gets, and there's a lot of money in the day 2 field, and winning this round would be a good way to get the day 2 started off for either of these guys. Of course, there's a lot of other fun things to do at Pokemon Regional Championships.
Definitely.
If you don't make day 2, there's all kinds of side events, lots of Pokemon action happening throughout the day, video game side events as well.
Have you seen the prize wall here?
Oh, the prize wall looks amazing.
So just about every regionals has had a fantastic prize wall, but this one I think takes the cake.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Not only that, there's there was, I think, a cup tomorrow.
Yes. No, there was a cup on Friday. I think
There's a cup tomorrow, though.
They are having one tomorrow as well. Wow.
So those who don't make day 2 can still get their fair share of CP in the cup tomorrow.
Absolutely.
VGC has a mid-season tomorrow.
Lots of great Pokemon action happening this weekend here in Toronto, and we're gonna see how this round 9 finishes up. Andrew Helsel on the left toward Reklev on the right.
Andrew looks like he might be having a mulligan here, possibly.
Yeah, trying to maybe debate what he wants to start, but no, it is indeed a mulligan.
He has a very shiny hand of supporters.
Yes, it's so hard to tell what's in his hand when they're all so beautiful and so shiny.
There's a Guzma, I think, and after that I just kind of gave up.
So we see Tord set his prizes out. There is a dice on the top of his deck indicating that he will be able to take that one extra mulligan draw. And Andrew's drawing his hand here. No basic yet. Once again, another mulligan. Buzzwole, not a deck we see mulliganing a lot. Lots of basic Pokemon in his deck.
Right, right.
So,
but every so often, every deck has its share of frog hands.
Oh, absolutely. I walked by a round earlier. Granted, this person was playing against a Sylveon, and they play very low basic counts. He had a starting hand of like 15 cards, and I'm not even joking.
All right, get ready for this. EUIC.
Yep.
25.
Wow.
I played against a Greninja player. He mulliganed 25 times.
Oh my goodness.
All
I
right,
can't
we're
even
starting.
imagine. We're going to get this started. Tord starts the Mew EX against Andrew's active Buzzwole GX. That could
is not something Andrew wants to be seeing right now.
Absolutely not. But since Andrew's going first, Tord may not be able to effectively use this Mew EX, and it could just go down before he's able to get it off.
Ooh, yes.
Gonna just see an in right away from Andrew saying, hey, Tord, I know you got 2 extra cards there off of that mulligan. I don't want you to have those extra 2 cards.
Don't blame him.
We're gonna put them back into your deck and give you a new hand of 6.
It's one of the rules that I was always like, oh, that really stinks that you can end your mulligan away.
Yeah. Something Andrew could have potentially done this last turn that would have been interesting is if he had put the Floatstone on the active Buzzwole, he could have tried to find the Oricorio that he plays and get that up into the active spot. And then if he finds a basic energy plus a Choice Band and a Stadium on the next turn, he'd be able to knock out this Mew right away on his second turn with that Oricorio.
Brooklet Hill comes down, getting that
Looks like a Rockruff, yep.
He does have a Max Elixir in hand, should he want to try and attach an energy to either that Sudowoodo or Rockruff.
Yeah, wanting to get those extra energy attachments where he can. We'll see if he decides to play it or wait till next turn.
He does.
No, here it comes.
Oh
Ooh,
boy.
No.
Oh,
Oh my goodness. I feel
Another
so
whiff.
bad for Andrew at this point. He has whiffed the majority of his Max Elixirs at this point.
Such a shame. 3 failed Max Elixirs in one match.
Yeah, that is certainly unfortunate. Over to Tord's turn, though. Look at that in his hand. Game 1, he had to Ultra Ball for it. Game 2, he just started with the Lele. Game 3, he's just got the Bridget in his opening hand.
The natural Bridget. He has been blessed.
Absolutely.
Using that Brooklet Hill, looking around, seeing what's there before using his Bridget.
Yep, just, checking through his prizes, trying to figure out what he has access to, what he doesn't.
Why would you ever turn down a free search of your deck?
Absolutely, and you see all of the great players do this, just checking what they have, even if they don't have any fighting or water Pokemon to get with Brooklet Hill. They just gotta, check what is in those prize cards.
Right.
And it'll be interesting, since Tord didn't start the Wimpod here, I wonder if he'll just go for 2 Zaruas and a Trubbish, or maybe could go for one of each of his Pokemon.
Right, it'll definitely be interesting to see, since we've had the same start each time.
Yeah.
But
we'll see what his strategy is in this situation. Still kind of looking through his deck off of that Brooklet Hill, and I'm sure he'll be playing that Bridget here very shortly. Yep,
there it is.
Sure enough.
Surprise, surprise.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction. At least one Zorua will hit the bench.
Oh no. He definitely is taking 2, it looks like.
At least one. There goes 2. And we see a Trubbish as well. Looks like those will be the 3. No Wimpod yet. He'll have a chance to get those later on if he needs to.
Seems like a solid play. That Trubbish and Garbodor were doing massive amounts of work for him earlier.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Andrew has played just 1 item at this point in the game, though. There are 2 tools in play, though, so Tord could find a Field Blower to make Trash Lance do even more damage. We'll have to see what he wants to do here on this next turn.
Definitely.
And we'll see if he's able to maybe try to move this Mew EX. It's not in super big threat of being knocked out, Andrew would need some sort of like energy switch play to get a knockout here
Right.
this turn, I think, on the active.
Mew EX is a little beefier than the little baby Mew we've seen
Yep.
with 120 HP, though still fragile.
Yeah, absolutely, especially for an EX Pokemon that gives up 2 prize cards. We see Andrew has an N and a Guzma and a basic energy, lots of options. He could go for a Guzma and take a Zorua out of play. Also could just try to end to get himself a little more set up potentially.
The energy attachment seems to be going on to the Rockruff, though bamboozled again.
Oh, nope, maybe not going to put it in play quite
Ends
yet.
up being discarded by this Ultra Ball.
It looks like he wants to actually get the Lycanroc GX, can use this to bring up a Zorua and still play an N, so that way he can get some new cards and take a knockout this turn.
Definitely a solid play on Andrew's part.
We'll see if that is what he's going to go for. Yep. Lycanroc, Bloodthirsty Eyes. I keep wanting to say Bright Look, but no, it is Bloodthirsty Eyes. Going to bring up that Zorua, and he will be able to Jet Punch and take this KO this turn. And as these players shuffle up for their end, it'll be interesting to see where Andrew puts the 30 damage from the Jet Punch. He could target down that Trubbish, or he could target down the Zorua, trying to make it easier to knock out a Zoroark for a lower energy cost in the future. But yeah, I think this is really what Andrew needs to do this game. He needs to take these Zoruas out of play, keep Tord from having that draw engine that he loves so dearly. And we'll see, there is a Zoroark in Tord's hand, so he'll have that option. We do see an Elixir and an Energy over on Andrew's side.
Does he hit it, though? He does. Third card. It goes right onto that Sudowoodo.
Yep, and Sudowoodo is going to be solid against something like Mew EX even. It can use Riotous Beating off what the Mew EX used the previous turn potentially to take a knockout there. We see a basic fighting he has not attached for turn yet. He may want to put that on the Lycanroc GX. Another Remoraid is an option for him. He's just got a lot of different things he can do here.
Everything.
Going to go ahead and prep the Lycanroc, and Andrew is putting himself in definitely a really solid position. Actually going to put the 30 damage there onto the Mew EX, trying to get that damage set up for the future. I think there's a discussion being had about if that energy was attached the previous turn or not, and it was indeed attached the last turn, so we are good. No worries there. And we're going to have to see what Tord is going to send up off of this fresh hand of 6 he has from Andrew's Inn. I don't think Andrew has played as many items this game, but if Tord can find the Field Blower, he might be able to get enough in the discard pile to get that Trash Avalanche knockout. But of course, Mew EX also a very good attacker against Buzzwole GX. It is unfortunate, though, because it does give up 2 prizes, as opposed to Garbodor.
Right. The Zoroark hits the bench, allowing Tord to start trading away, revving that engine just a little bit.
Yep,
Another
absolutely.
Zorua onto the field, as well as the Wimpod has made its entrance.
Yeah, Wimpod is definitely great to see. He's going to want to have access to Golisopod's first impression to deal with this Lycanroc GX on Andrew's side of the field. If he doesn't have access to his Golisopod, there's a chance that this Lycanroc could just take like 3 or 4 prizes, and it would be really tough for Tord to deal with at that point. But getting that Wimpod in play is definitely great for him. Gonna check Andrew's discard pile, maybe doing an item count. Oh, I just stopped counting at the wrong second. I think there was 3 in there at least, so a Field Blower plus an Energy and a Trash Avalanche would do it for Tord. But I think he's gonna try to maybe get that knockout with Mew EX this turn. Gonna be hitting 200 damage with Mew EX's versatile copying Riotous Beating on Zoroark GX.
Right.
I think Tord was just using Brooklet Hill there, checking what's in his deck. Gonna use that Mallow, so he's guaranteed the cards he needs. Looks like Field Blower and DCE might be an option. Actually gonna get a Rainbow Energy. If he has a Garbodor in his hand, he could copy...
Doesn't look like he does.
Okay, interesting. I wonder why he's getting a Rainbow as opposed to a DCE then. It looks like he's not going to commit to those 2 cards yet. Yeah, it looks like he's going to switch. Going to go ahead and grab the DCE plus the Field Blower. If he had gotten a Rainbow and he had the Trash Avalanche Garbodor in his hand... Ooh, actually going to get a Puzzle of Time as opposed to the Field Blower here.
Hope that doesn't mean what we think it might mean.
I don't think it'll quite mean that. He does have at least 1 more puzzle in his hand, I saw, so... He can have that double puzzle option. I'm not sure that he's played a Field Blower yet, though. Maybe he's got a Choice Band he knows in his discard pile. Or actually, no, he won't even need the Field Blower at this point because he can just knock it out with Mew as it is.
Right.
Yep. Field Blower will be useful later on, though, to get those extra items in the discard pile so that Trashalanche can pick up these KOs. Tord, I think, is just really going to want to be prepared to be able to respond to the incoming Lycanroc GX that he's most likely going to have to deal with. So we'll see the 2 cards going onto the top. We'll see Trade come out. We'll find that double colorless energy that he needs. Just kind of figuring out what he wants to get rid of, though. Going to get rid of a Choice Band, actually, with that trade. Draw those 2 cards. And we see the DCE going on to the Mew. And Riotous Beating will pick up the knockout, doing 200 damage to the Psychic Weak Buzzwole GX. Andrew can respond with a potential Watch and Learn. He would need to totally fill his bench up, and it looks like he has 2 Pokemon in play, plus the Brooklet Hill. That would get it for him if he has a Fighting, and I think he does.
It looks like he does, so we do see that Oricorio drop down.
And Oricorio may be a better option here. He can save the Sudowoodo for later, potentially. If he finds a Choice Band here, he can... I think he does have the basic Fighting. If he has the Choice Band, there is the Stadium in play, so Revelation Dance will definitely knock out the Mew EX this time.
Brooklet Hilling for another Buzzwole to get that set up.
Yep, definitely want to have your main attacker in play. I think he also had the Rimmerade, so he can get that other basic. Looks like he's actually going to attach to the active. He just wants to guarantee that he'll have the knockout, but no, actually discards the Rimmerade, really wanting to find a different basic Pokemon to put down.
Did find a Buzzwole there.
Yep, so he does get the basic Pokemon he needs. You know, maybe wanting to put that in play as opposed to Rimmerade. Maybe actually wanting to get something like a Rockruff here, potentially. Gonna discard. We'll see off this Ultra Ball. Maybe he'll get an Octillery with this, I guess. Try to get some more draws going.
Yep, there's the Octillery.
Sure enough, that comes down into play. Did have to get rid of a Lele and a basic Fighting, but we do know that Andrew plays Super Rod in his deck. We saw it in one of the earlier games, so he has access to those cards still if he needs to find them. Choice Band as well as Buzzwole in his hand he could put in play to draw another card, but no, gonna just go ahead and Abyssal Hand for just the 1 and use that Riotous Beating. Oh, with the 30 damage already on Mew EX, of course, already that was enough to take it out. That is my mistake. I forgot about that 30 damage.
It's all good.
I'm sure someone in the chat was flaming me for that, but that is okay.
If not, start flaming him now.
Yes, thank you, Emily. And we'll see what Tord wants to do to respond to this Sudowoodo here. He does need 1 more Pokemon in play to knock it out with Riotous Beating, plus the DCE, of course.
If you were in Tord's shoes right now, what would you be doing?
Well, it really depends on his hand. What supporter card does he have in his hand? What sort of energy options does he have? You know, there's lots of different things you could potentially do. If he has a Floatstone in his hand, he might send up the Trubbish. If he thinks he can get the Garbodor this turn, he might send that up. So that's the thing about playing decks like this that have so many different this deck that Tord has so many Stage 1 Pokemon. There's just so many options at any given time.
Just like the rest of this format, so many options.
Absolutely. And as we move into the last 12 minutes of this match, we're going to see what Tord can do to try to close this game out. There are certainly enough items in the discard pile at this point, I would think, to knock out this Sudowoodo if he finds the Trashalanche Garbodor. Brooklet Hill, Tord's just going to take a look through his deck and figure out what he needs and what he has access to still. Of course, once again, nothing has changed. Still no basic Fighting or Water Pokemon for Tord to get.
Maybe he's just hoping. Just let him.
Maybe something could happen and I could find one of these Pokemon.
We might have to call a judge if he does.
Oh gosh. Yep, that is definitely something we wouldn't want to have happen. But of course, Tord, a very clean, good player on with such a great record.
Just a little banter from us.
Yep.
Can't help it while they're shuffling.
Absolutely. Looks like he's trying to figure out what he has access to in the deck. Maybe putting these 2 cards at the front, trying to set up for a potential another Mallow maybe. If he has Puzzle of Times, he can get his Mallow back, or if he plays a second one. Looks like there is 2 Puzzle of Time in his hand. And looks like he will potentially go for that Mallow.
Just a mind reader here.
And we'll see what else he wants to get with this.
Looks like he's going to grab that Mew possibly, or the DCE.
Yeah, either would be a good option, I think. It looks like it's going to be the double colorless energy for Tord. And
fairly solid play there, I'd say. That DC would be very helpful right about now. He has the option for the Riotous Beating then.
Yep, he could get a Floatstone here with this Mallow and retreat into the Zoroark GX, but it looks like he's eyeing up the Trashalanche, Garbodor, and the Rainbow Energy, and he just wants to take the knockout with Garbodor here. You know, actually, Andrew does not have a great way to respond to this immediately, besides using Dangerous Rogue GX.
Ooh, yes.
Which, you know, isn't the worst thing in the world, but it always feels bad whenever you have to use such a powerful attack like Dangerous Rogue on just a one-prize Pokemon like Garbodor. But, you know, sometimes it is necessary. It is what you need to do, and we might see...
When everything is on the line,
Yep.
you do what you have to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. See Tord put those 2 cards from Mallow on the top of his deck. We will see him trade, discard a card from his hand. See what he opts to get rid of here. Looks like a Bridget goes to the discard pile. Definitely doesn't need that at this point in the game. Gonna find that Trashalanche and the Rainbow Energy.
Surprise.
And here we go. With, you know, at least 5 items in the discard pile, there will be enough to get the KO.
Andrew already knows. He's just like, I know. But, let's see. Yep, there it is, the knockout.
There we go, Tord taking a prize card. And what does Andrew do to respond here? It looks like he's going to send up
the
Artillery. Signaling to me he probably has a Floatstone, or he's really banking on finding one this turn.
It looks like the Floatstone is the first card in his hand. There,
so there
it goes
you go.
down. Looks like he also has a Strong Energy as well as 1 basic.
So he could try to set up like a Buzzwole this turn, but like I said, I think, you know, his best option is probably going to be going for that Dangerous Rogue, honestly. And like I said, it does feel kind of bad, but it's what he needs to do at this point.
Yeah.
We'll see off the Brooklet Hill if he finds another Pokemon that he wants to put into play. Looks like he's potentially getting a Rockruff, does get that and put it on the bench. Maybe wanting to try to set up another Bloodthirsty Eyes later on in the game.
Always a good thing to have, honestly, that one-sided Guzma.
Absolutely. This is getting intense heading into the final 10 minutes here, under 10 minutes remaining. 3 prizes apiece for these players. Lots of things on the line here. A Day 2 berth at the Toronto Regional Championships.
$250
minimum, right? Yep. We could have the potential at $5,000 on the line in this game.
How many CP potentially?
Up to 200 CP for first place. And we'll just have to see what Andrew wants to do here. Yes, so many different prizes at this tournament. Also, lots of Pokemon booster packs awarded to the top cut.
Oh, of course. I think there's at least 1 box for top 32.
Yep, top 32 gets a box. Top 16 gets 2. Top 8 on gets 3. So,
wow.
Lots of shots at getting a lot of Pokemon cards this weekend.
Especially if it's the new set, potentially.
Yes, I'm not sure that it's Forbidden Light, but I think a lot of times, you know, Pokemon's really good about making sure that after a set comes out, even if it's not legal yet, the tournament has it available for prize support.
Right, especially if it's out in stores already.
Yep, absolutely. So Forbidden
the
Light.
potential to have all your cards ready for the next regional.
Absolutely. Madison Regionals will be the next standard regionals with standard regionals with Forbidden Light legal, but Roanoke coming up before that expanded format. It'll be interesting to see how Forbidden Light affects the format, especially with that B-String card coming out. That card is just so good.
It's going to be something.
It is definitely going to be something. We do just see the Dangerous Rogue take the knockout on to Tord's Trashalanche Garbodor, and Tord is in a sticky spot here. He can potentially get a first impression KO, but he's going to need to find Golisopod, Rainbow, and a Floatstone. Lots of different cards this turn if that's the knockout he wants to take.
He ends up promoting the little Zorua.
I think he was just asking there how many cards were in Andrew's hand. Looks like he's going to use Brooklet Hill, just kind of check his deck out. Tord just wants to use Brooklet Hill, there we go, just to make sure every turn he knows what he has access to.
Just wants to have a look-see.
Yep, just taking a little peek.
It's a lovely looking deck.
And yeah, I mean, I think this is honestly the only play for Tord at this point, is to try to get the Golisopod, the Floatstone, and the Rainbow Energy. If he does anything else that doesn't involve knocking out this Lycanroc GX, all Andrew needs is 1 energy card, and he can knock out the Zoroark GX on Tord's bench for game with with a Guzma or a Bloodthirsty Eyes from a second Lycanroc GX.
Tord has benched the Lele, Wonder Tagged into a Cynthia, it looks like, checking to make sure that's exactly what he wants, but since it's out, I have a feeling that's what he's going for.
Surely that's going to be what he gets.
Has to make sure the deck hasn't changed since that Brooklet Hill.
You know, just always wanting to make sure you're getting exactly what you want with these card choices.
Fun note, there is an Orangaroo on the field now,
Yes.
as well as another Tapu Lele.
Another Tapu Lele hits the field, not getting another supporter. Tord just doesn't want to draw it off the Cynthia. He wants to increase the odds of hitting that combo as much as possible here.
Exactly. Looks like he's possibly setting up for a Rite of Speeding just in case he doesn't hit that Glycopod, though.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If he doesn't hit the Glycopod, if he doesn't knock out this Lycanroc, all Andrew needs is a Guzma and an energy. And if he has it, I haven't seen his hand. I'm not sure if he does. If he has it, oh, we got barely a little bit of a peek. I do see the energy, so if he has a Guzma or an Ultra Ball for a Lycanroc or just the Lycanroc itself, he'll be able to knock out this Zoroark. Toward looking at his hand here, he does have access to one trade still. If he can find another Zoroark, he can get another trade. We'll see what he is able to do. I do see another Zoroark in his hand, so he has two trades still. He has Ultra Ball. That finds him the Glycopod. He needs to find Floatstone and Rainbow Energy at this point.
Exactly.
Trade number one.
Trading away a Zoroark.
Actually getting rid of one of the options to potentially move his active, but I think this makes... or getting rid of one of his options to draw more cards, but this makes sense because he may just have to pass this turn. If he passes, he doesn't want to pass with a Zoroark GX in the active, which would just lose him the game if Andrew has the energy.
Right. It did net him a Acerola, which is not very helpful in the situation for obvious reasons, and I'm not sure what the other card was.
Tord's at a point here where I don't think he's going to be able to hit the cards he needs this specific turn.
I don't think so either. This is an impasse.
Certainly a tough spot. He does have another Zoroark GX in his hand, but if he puts it in play and he doesn't hit a Floatstone,
he's doomed.
He'll just lose the game right away. We know Andrew has the energy in his hand. Tord's best play. Ooh, he's going to risk it here.
He's going to risk it for the biscuit. Try and trade away possibly one card for another two in hopes that he hits it.
And Tord's tournament could end right here. Let's see, does he find the Floatstone? I don't think he found it.
That's a Guzma.
And he's already played his supporter for the turn.
Field blowing away that
gets rid of that other Floatstone. If Andrew has the energy, which we know he does, that'll be it. I don't know what else Tord could potentially do. He can attack. He can attach and retreat. It doesn't feel great, but it is better than leaving it active and just losing.
Right. He's going to send up the Tapu Lele potentially here?
Maybe sending up the Orangaroo.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, I don't know. Lele can retreat for one less energy, I guess, but I think...
that one prize.
Yeah, Andrew could have the chance to get the win with a Choice Band plus a strong energy if he just leaves the Lele active, so definitely wants to send up a Orangaroo here. And we'll probably just see the pass. That's really the only option at this point. He's already attached an energy, already played a supporter.
Here
comes the pass. Under 3 minutes remain in this game.
Oh, he has a basic, he has a strong, but does he have the option? Does he have that Guzma?
I don't see it yet. We'll see. Maybe he can thin his hand down to draw a couple of cards with Abyssal Hand. This is gonna be close. Can Andrew get the win here on this turn here in Toronto? This is so much on the line. Day 2 berth, the chance at $5,000. Can he do it? He's got Choice Band. We see the strong energy going on to Buzzwole, actually.
Interesting.
Maybe going to try to get some damage in play with a Jet Punch this turn. He won't be able to attack with the active Lycanroc now. And, this does put potentially Tord in an awkward spot where he has to find a Floatstone, which he was unable to find in the last turn. But we'll see an Ultra
We could be going for the Lycanroc here to Bloodthirsty Eyes.
So I think actually he may not have access to his other Lycanroc, because if he did, he would have actually just had the game right there. He could have Lycanroc, brought up the Zoroark, and attached an energy to the... He could have Claw Slash to the game right there.
Right.
I think Andrew just missed it, unfortunately. He doesn't have the option anymore. He's already attached his energy for turn.
Oh, no.
So we'll see what develops from this. Lycanroc, he can retreat the 2 energies off of it to attack this turn if he wants to. He'll do 180 damage with it on it to a Zoroark if he does that. I'm not sure that that's what he wants to do, though. And yeah, he's just going to go ahead and Professor Sycamore, discard his hand, draw a fresh 7.
The energy switch.
He has the energy switch. If he gets an elixir plus an energy switch, he can Claw Slash for the game. He can still get there. It is not over yet. If he finds a Floatstone even and an elixir, he can, there's multiple different ways he could, use that energy switch to win the game here. Super Rod's going to put the energies back into the deck. He has not used Abyssal Hand yet. I don't see the elixirs yet. Unfortunately, Energy Switch, can't move that strong energy. Otherwise, he would just have it right away. But we'll see if he can play more cards to thin his hand out and try to Abyssal Hand. Looks like he's just going to put back 3 basic fighting energies, actually.
All right, let's see what he can do here.
2 prizes remain over on Andrew's side. 3 prizes over for Tord. Looks like an Ultra Ball is going to come out from Andrew. Gonna thin that hand down and use Abyssal Hand.
He's not even going to look, just going to shuffle it up.
He's like, I know it's in here at this point. Let me just draw the cards, see if I can find that elixir, and if I can hit it. There's 1.
2.
Oh, no elixir. He does find a Floatstone, though, which means he can use Jet Punch here. Do 100 and, excuse me, I think I said 180. It'll be 160 damage at this point. And since there's no Regirock EX in play.
And that is time.
That is time. So we're going to have Andrew B at turn 0.
Retreating that Lycanroc into that punchy Buzzwole.
Yep, 160 damage going to go onto the active. And we'll see if Andrew has the cards to win the game on his turn 2. Tord will be turn 1 of time.
And
looks like he's going to put the 30 damage maybe onto a... I think he was, signifying the Wimpod. Going to just go ahead and put that there. Make it easier to maybe knock out a Golisopod with a Claw Slash if it comes to that.
Right. The tension's so thick at this point. I'm so nervous.
Absolutely. Not sure what's going to happen here. Tord has to find Acerola or Floatstone, a way to move this Zoroark to get this damage out of play. And I still think he needs to deal with this Lycanroc that's on Andrew's bench.
Does. That is a total threat here. It needs to get knocked out.
Absolutely.
But I'm not sure he's able to.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure, Tord's such a good player. He takes his time figuring out what his plays need to be to increase his odds as much as possible to hit what he needs. So I think that's what he's going through in his mind. What cards am I least likely to be able to need, and what cards are going to be more valuable to me to potentially?
Mm-hmm.
Just checking that discard pile once again. Once again, we are in turns. Tord is going to be turn number 1 of time. For those who may not be familiar with how the timing works in the Pokemon TCG, once the game goes to time, the player whose turn it is becomes turn 0. We have plus 3 turns, so turn 0, turn 1, turn 2, and then turn 3. At the end of those 3 turns, if there is no clear winner, the match does end in a tie. You have those 3 turns, and you have to get the win in those 3 turns. Tord does have the potential to do it. He needs to take a knockout this turn and a knockout next turn. Andrew has 1 more turn as well to just get his last 2 prizes. Tord still playing this Ultra Ball here, I think, trying to figure out what to get. I would assume it's going to be the Golisopod GX. Sure enough, here it comes.
Here we go.
He could go for a Guzma, bring up that Lycanroc GX, and get a first impression knockout if he has the Rainbow Energy. But then that Zoroark GX on the bench is just a big Guzma threat and can easily be knocked out by a Buzzwole with a strong energy already on it. Looks like we're going to see trade number 1 discards the N from Tord. These are 4 very crucial cards for Tord Reklev here off of these 2 trades. Don't see any sort of healing option yet. I'm not sure if he plays Max Potion or not in this deck. I know he played Max Potion in his Australia winning list, but that was a totally different deck, Zoroark Gardevoir.
Right.
But it's a deck that some of these Zoroark Golisopod decks have played in the past. Trying to debate what he wants to trade with this second Zoroark GX. Looks like there's another Ultra Ball maybe in his hand. Or no, the card in his right hand is what he's thinking of trading. Looks like it's going to be a Field Blower hitting the discard. 2 cards. I don't think they are what he needed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Does he even have a way to move this active Zoroark GX? Worst case scenario, he needs to do that. to at least try to get a tie here, get one more match point, and maybe have a chance at getting top 64 here. If these players do tie, they will most likely get top 64, which, while you don't get any money, you do get half a booster box, and you get 50 championship points as well. So still a little bit of prizes there for the top 64 players. So Tord going to check the discard pile for Andrew. Really just being very methodical here, figuring out what he wants to do.
When so much is on the line, you have to take every turn.
Yeah, and at this point, you know, the length of time taken for turns, you know, there's a lot of discussion online about pace of play. It's less of an issue whenever we're already in turns. There's no clock you're fighting against, so you can take a little bit more time in these situations and really think your turns out.
But within reason.
Within reason, of course. Looks like he does have the Acerola.
Ooh, all that damage wiped away.
So he won't lose immediately by Buzzwell getting the knockout. What's he going to send up here, though? Looks like it's going to be that Orangaroo. Does Andrew have the energy and the Guzma to just win the game? I see the energy. No Guzma yet, though.
No, he just has that energy switch.
Tord's going to bench that Zorua. I think he might just have to pass here.
I think he has no more options.
Just going to be the pass. Ooh, lots of energy in that hand. What he can do is he can attach to the active Buzzwole. Oh no, going to attach a strong energy, and he can energy switch up to the active Buzzwole so that he can try to set up for a Knuckle Impact. If off of these two cards from the Abyssal hand, he hits a Guzma. Does he find a Guzma here? There's another energy.
No, it's
an energy in his hand. He does not get there, unfortunately.
4 basics and a strong.
Wow, lots of energy, you know, lots of options there, but he does not get what he needs, and it looks like this game is likely going to end in a tie. He'll be able to take the knockout here, go down to just 1 prize card remaining, and Tord can send up whatever he wants just past the turn. He has no way to take 3 prizes in 1 turn, and I think this is unfortunately going to end in a tie.
Draws.
Finds an Eva Soda. Gonna play it out here. I believe Tord is turn 3 if I'm not mistaken, so I'm not sure what he's really thinking here, unless there's something I'm missing. I don't think he has any way to have a like 3 prize turn, especially with like no damage in play on Andrew's side either. There's no Buzzwole in Tord's deck. There's no Espeon EX or anything like that that could provide de-evolution options. And like I said, there's not even any damage on Andrew's side for any of those things to even matter. Looks like we're just going to see trade. Number 1 discards a Tapu Lele. Maybe Tord just wanting to say, hey, I'm getting these knockouts. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to get there. There's a double puzzle of time that can help him get the pieces he may need to pull off a knockout.
Double puzzle.
2 puzzles come out. He has Mew EX in his discard pile, we know. Looks like he's eyeing up a DCE and that Mew EX. So he'll be able to put those in play. If he has a Floatstone, he can move this Lele and take a knockout here on Buzzwole GX. Taking all of Andrew's energy out of play, so maybe saying like, hey, if we played it out, I think I would have been able to win this game, but, you know, it is going to go to time here, unfortunately. There's an N. Ooh, so off of this N wanting to find that Floatstone, I think. Andrew will only get 1 card off of this, but Andrew's at the point where he's not going to get any more turns. I think Tord here really just wants to see, hey, can I get this knockout? Does he find the Floatstone?
Does not look like it. It's a Guzma, an Ultra Ball, yep, and that guard.
Ultra Ball, and this one is unfortunately going to end in a tie, folks.
Such a shame.
Not how we want to end our day here at the Toronto TCG Regional Championships, but, you know, congratulations to both these players. They had a great turnout, and, you know, they'll still both come away with a few packs and 50 championship points.
It's nothing to sneeze at.
Nothing to sneeze at all. So standings will be going up very soon for Top 32. We'll get things started tomorrow morning with day 2 of this tournament.